Hey, this is Matt in the Man Cave with my beautiful wife, Tracey from
Esther 414 Ministries.
And this is Mornings with Matt and Tracey.
Good morning, guys. This is Matt in the Man Cave with my beautiful wife, Tracey from
Esther 414 Ministries.
And I have coffee in hand. I already had a donut earlier on, and I tell you what, it's delicious. I have a friend, lives in Jersey. He's in the middle of a blizzard right now.
Oh.
Literally in a blizzard. I think they got
get
9. I was looking
hammered
online. I didn't talk to him yet. 15 inches, 9 inches, 12 inches. Ice, snow, wind, like 70-mile-an-hour winds. As bad as, that's when you, like, inside you just cringe when you have to take the garbage out. It's not like, oh, I gotta take the garbage out. It's like, oh, I gotta take the garbage out. I don't want to do this.
I can tell that you are from the southern states because northern states,
They have no problem taking the trash out?
well, I was going to say we measure in feet, not inches.
Oh,
It's about
dagger.
a foot and a half
Dagger
of snow.
to the heart. So basically, when I get like 3 or 4 inches, I was like, man, it was this huge snowstorm here. And Tracy's just like laughing
I'm
at
like,
me.
oh, come on now. No, really. No.
Look, because what was it? Last winter, we had this really, what I call a terrible winter storm. Okay? And I remember talking to you. It's funny, after all these years, I'm finding this out. She's been belittling me, and I didn't realize it. And I think we got like 10 inches, 12 inches. And I was having to blow the snow with my backpack blower, and shovel the snow. And there was so much of it, I was out of shape. That's where you really tell. That's where you can tell if you're out of shape. Shoveling snow, and I was shoveling snow, and I remember being out there. And when I'm blowing during the summer and weed eating, and I'm praising the Lord. Yeah. But when I was blowing in the
winter,
snow, I was not praising the Lord.
Yeah, it's
I was
cold.
and I remembered. I remember in my heart, I said, "Never again," because I not only did our driveway, but someone else's. And then I noticed someone else needed help, and then I noticed someone else needed help.
Like the domino effect, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom.
Needed help, and so we were looking at the Home Depot. That's man therapy, by the way. And what we're going to talk about is therapy.
I actually do like
what we're going to talk about is therapy,
therapy
and how you can live a life victorious getting therapy from the Lord. Okay, that's a free one. I'm giving you that, so you stick with me, okay? So you don't leave me in the middle of my man cave story, okay? So I'm there at the Home Depot, and lo and behold,
Not Lowe's
and behold.
Lo and behold at Home Depot.
The snow blower, okay, of all snow blowers is there at the Home Depot. It is on sale. It is much, much more than I could ever afford. But I looked my wife in the eye and I said, they have 0% financing on this, don't you? And so that big behemoth of a snowblower, that's a Honda snowblower, guys, for you that are somewhere else.
In the northern states, I can appreciate it.
28-inch. The only one, they did not have the 32-inch. But I read where the 32-inch is sometimes hard to turn, especially in tight spaces. The 28-inch is perfect. And so I remember...
And let's not forget the part. It has like the snowmobile Arctic wheels on it.
Yeah, it has the tracks like a tank. Has those kind
like
of, I forgot what they're called, snowmobile track,
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I was praying all summer long for the first winter. I was like this, bring it. That sounds prideful, but I was so delighted when we finally got like the minimum, the worst snowstorm ever of 6 inches. Start laughing. Okay, so I'm going somewhere. What's our verse for today? Read our verse for today.
Philippians.
Oh, but here, I had a point in telling you the snow story.
Go ahead.
I had built all this. I had committed myself to shoveling snow, right? And I stressed myself out. I put this burden on me that was not my burden.
Yeah.
An obligation on myself that was not my obligation.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't. And it wasn't so much of what I was doing, but what I put on myself that I did not need to put on myself.
We do that a lot.
We tend to do that. Can I share this with you? Is one of Satan's biggest weapons against us, using us against us.
Yeah.
He used me and my kindness, right?
Uh-huh.
Basically, because what I did is I loaded my plate. Have you ever heard this? Your plate's way overloaded. Meaning, when Tracey was working for Dell Web Homes,
Oh
okay?
my goodness, yeah.
She was
Great job,
It was a
but-
great job, great benefits, great pay. At that time, the guy who ran the whole thing, his name was Bo.
Yeah.
But he kept on just piling Tracey up with 3 different departments.
No. I was up to 10 different jobs.
10 different jobs of things she had to do. 3 different departments, 10 different jobs. But what took place is Tracey would do whatever it took to get it done. But the whole time she was doing it, her plate was overloaded and you short circuit.
Oh, yeah.
You short circuit yourself.
Oh, I stressed myself out so bad. I had heart problems. I had serious pain in my chest, in my heart, from the stress.
We can do this.
Yeah, we can. We can take on either we don't know how to say no and we just feel like we have to do it, or we feel guilty about something and we think, well, I have to do this, and this too. But no one ever asked us. It's us just putting these things on ourselves.
And Satan's real good about putting expectations upon ourselves that God never put on us.
Yeah.
Oh, what a nasty weapon that is. Most people don't see that as a weapon.
Oh,
Read today's verse. And guys, I'm here to tell you, we decided to do this not even 5 minutes ago. Tracey was reading a wonderful Blackaby devotion to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's good.
Stop with that paragraph.
Let's start with that paragraph. We'll read the paragraph to you, but that's where the idea of this devotion came. Because I guarantee, okay, there's a lot of people out there that are stress cases.
Yeah.
I went to pick up something at a sporting goods store, and there was some paperwork that came with what I was picking up.
Yeah.
This girl literally started to cry because she had never filled out the paperwork, and I was like, ma'am, you don't need to cry. I'm a really wonderful guy, and I'm patient, and we will work through this. I'm not in any hurry. You just take your time. You don't understand. I was like, I do understand. Of all people, I understand. Okay? They haven't trained you. This is what happened. They hadn't trained her, but they are expecting it of her.
Yeah, expecting her to be able to do it.
And so the manager sent her back with me to accomplish this, to do this. She's never been trained. Okay? And so what she ends up doing is calling the guy who's not working.
Who normally does it.
Normally does this, and asking him. And so we had a 3-way conversation for 45 minutes. All of which should have taken 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know how men are at Walmart when the lines pass 3 carts? You know what I'm saying? But I held my cool. I get the star today. I was the model employee. I was just praising the Lord, standing there, working through the problem. People, you got to work through the problem.
You do.
Can I just say this before you read the verse? Guys, I don't know who told us the pipe dream that life is easy. I've never experienced life easy. Life is not easy. Life is obstacles, mountain, roadblocks, road closures.
One challenge after another.
It does not get easy. What's easy is how you deal with it, because you've dealt with it so much that you get good at navigating.
You learn how
with the Lord.
Exactly.
Enough roadblocks, enough detours, you start to realize, okay, you know what? Let me consult the person that's better than GPS.
Yeah.
Let me call on the King of Kings. He's better than the Thomas Guide.
Yeah.
All right, read our verse.
And you know what?
I'm going to let you read the verse this time.
You were a witness and an encouragement to this girl that you were dealing with
She actually ran outside and told me there was a piece of paper that I didn't sign, meaning she didn't give it to me. Would I mind walking all the way to the back of the store to fill it out? I go, not a problem. I actually did. I was right where the doors are. I'm walking out the door. She's wait a minute. She's still stressing. All right, read our passage.
We're in Philippians.
Hope this is helping. If this helps you at all, I need a thumbs up.
And this is one of my favorite books and chapters. I absolutely love it.
All right, let's hear
Philippians chapter 4. We're in verse 6. Do not be anxious about anything. Instead, in every situation, through prayer and petition.
Prayer and petition. You know what petition is? You keep on praying.
Yeah, you're
petitioning. Here's the thing. We're petitioning. We're making our requests. We're making our petition. You know what he said? Xerxes said to Esther, up to half the kingdom.
Yeah.
You know what? We quit a lot of times. What if God said up to half the kingdom and you quit?
Well, look at
that
the
dagger
part
hurt.
that you stopped me right before.
Okay, go ahead.
Is important.
All right.
With thanksgiving.
We praise God. We're thankful.
We're thankful, exactly.
Okay,
So
read the verse, and I will not interrupt you. I'm going to pet the cat.
Okay. Well, I'll have to call the.
No, I'm petting him right here.
No. Do not be anxious about anything.
Anything.
Instead, in every situation, through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, tell your requests to God, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus.
Tell them what Blackaby says. Why is that going to help? Okay, if watch this, okay? How will that help me if my finances are a wreck? The doctor's saying this about my health. I got problems in my family, okay? I'm not sure of the future, okay? I'm looking back at my failures, okay? And my relationship track record is not all that it's meant to be. Tell me, what does he say?
Well,
because that's real life.
The paragraph that you stopped at, he doesn't really tell you. He just says, it means we overcome anxiety during stressful situations because God instructs us to bring our requests to him.
Oh, so we go to God with what's weighing us down.
Yeah.
That's the key. People, they dismiss the key, and people, they don't think God has the keys. Oh, the key is this, I go to God.
Yeah.
But we don't go to God because we don't realize that he has all the keys.
Or he's got the master key.
We doubt God,
okay,
can fix our situation. We oftentimes doubt God. God never intended his children to live under the weight of anxieties, of fear, of stress. He doesn't,
being overwhelmed.
Yeah. Do you know how people get fat? Besides eating, all right? Cortisone. Do you know what kills people from heart attacks? Stress, fear, anxiety, cortisol. Your body naturally releases these chemicals that are terrible for you. I've often wondered why. Listen to this. This is not biblical, and I can't. So I'm not saying "Thus saith the Lord" on this one. Why is it that the guy who's cheating, okay, cutting corners, who's very, very well off, has more money in his bank account than he'll ever spend, okay, and from the outside looking in, the Bible says do not covet, but you're looking, it looks like his life is error-free.
Yeah.
Why does he live longer than this guy over here? You know why? Okay, he doesn't have stress. He doesn't allow his stress.
He's not stressing.
He probably has stress. But a lot of stress we bring about ourselves, and a lot of stress is financial stress or relational stress. There's all these things, what I'm saying? Family stress, just all these things. But God is saying this, the key is to come to me because I have all the keys. Meaning he can meet our needs according to his riches and glory in his son, Christ Jesus.
And you know what? It talks about, basically giving the Lord all of these prayer requests.
Yeah.
But what we have a hard time doing is really giving it to it, releasing him to it.
Yeah.
And
trusting the circumstances that we're living.
And not taking it back.
And
it's
trusting
like
the circumstances that we're living in right now.
Well,
because sometimes we don't like the circumstances that we're living in right now. We don't like them.
Well, I was going to say that both of us did a video on
it was a good one.
Yeah, on
especially yours.
the stress one. Where it's like playing tennis back and forth,
and
I
like that one.
we're batting it over to the Lord, to the other side, but then we're
hitting
running
the tennis ball over the
net, and net to the other side, but then we're jumping over the net, and then we're trying to hit the ball back, and then we're running back over the net, jumping over the net, and we're playing tennis with ourselves instead of just letting it go over to the Lord's side and letting him handle it. And once the ball's out of your court, it's out of your court. You got to release it. And see, that's where the enemy comes along and he gets us.
He gets us. We don't release things.
We don't release it. We don't
hold
let
on
it go.
things. Okay,
we don't think God's going to handle it.
I'm going to shame myself.
Or that he can handle
I'm going
it.
to shame myself in front of you You know where it says your sins will find you out? This is a great example, and I got to bring it up. I was in my 20s. I was in this apartment complex, and there was this woman. She was in her 50s, and she always invited me to go to, I think it was called ACAs, adult children of alcoholics.
Okay.
Okay? And I would never go. I was like, no.
It's like,
we were
why
good
am
friends.
I going there? Yeah.
I was like, my parents, they didn't drink. I mean, my dad a little bit, but not much.
I think they're not alcoholics.
They're not alcoholics, and she goes, and she's always asking me, she says, it'd be good to have a friend there. I didn't realize that she was abused by her dad, which was alcoholic. I never put two and two together. That you get that reasoning at, later on in life. And finally, this is so shameful, okay? She says one Saturday night, right? She says, would you like to go? I go, no. And she goes, man, I think you ought to try it one time just so you can say that you've been to like a 7-step program. There is a lot of cute girls there that have a lot of issues that just want someone to listen to them. I was like, let me get my coat.
Did you catch on that she was hitting on you or no?
No, she wasn't hitting on me, but she was telling me there's cute girls there.
Okay.
So I go there, but before we started was the Serenity Prayer, which I'd never heard. Help me to I don't know the prayer, right?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Help me to accept the things I cannot change. Something here, look it up. Serenity Prayer,
and to be able.
Here, just look it up. Just look it up. Serenity Prayer.
Change the things that I'm able.
Yeah, I want to read the Serenity Prayer, but like when we're reading the Serenity Prayer, I'm fixing my eyes on this little haughty brunette, okay, and I'm like, this is what I thought. Oh my gosh, you are so hot. What problems could you have? I mean, what are you, all of 24? And you have problems? Look at you. You are just a stone fox, right? I couldn't. And, okay, you got the prayer?
Okay, I got it.
Okay, here's the prayer.
Okay,
I'm going somewhere with this, okay?
Okay, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Wow. So that was the first time that I'm listening to the Serenity Prayer. There is so much truth in that because some things I can't change. You know why? Because God put me in that season.
Yeah.
I have to accept the season that God has put me in.
But it also comes down to things about yourself.
Yeah.
That you're not able to change. Maybe it's the size of your feet or the look of your nose.
Yeah, read it again. Read the Serenity Prayer. There's so much,
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
See, there are things in life we can't
change,
of circumstances. Like I was listening to a testimony of a person in Ukraine. It was a mother. She lost all 4 of her boys. They're all dead.
Wow.
They were all under 25. Okay? She can't change that. She can't change that she was born in that country.
Right.
She can't change that the economy is zero.
Right.
It's handouts only by the government as people give into Ukraine. She can't change the fact that the whole war is nothing but a fake war over land. That's all it is. That's all. I mean, she's come to these conclusions that we really don't need to be fighting at all. It's just over basically. Who's going to park their missiles here? If this is going to become like a NATO country, the whole war was to provoke Russia. Russia is, most people don't realize this, bigger than China. Russia is the biggest landmass that there is, with the most rare earth minerals, the most oil, the most resources. Everybody, including China, wants Russia. That's really what it's all about, because the reservoir for all the goodies that the countries need, they're starting to grow short. They can see the writing on the wall. Tinky, meeny, tinkle, you farson, meaning this. There's only so much oil, there's only so much coal, there's only so much, these rare earth minerals. And whoever has the most land builds the biggest sandcastle, they last the longest. So this mother is talking about all of these terrible terrible things that have happened to her.
Uh-huh.
Like there is no electricity where she's at.
Right.
Okay, and so she's burning her house. Literally, she has a fireplace, but there's no wood. So she takes part of her house and she's burning it, but eventually she'll have no more house left.
Right.
I mean, this lady has real problems.
Yeah.
She's really hungry. She's really without water. She wants to go get water, but it's dangerous to go get water because she will be raped. So this is real problems that this woman have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These aren't like something that she's put on herself, but
Right.
as I'm reading this, she quotes the Serenity Prayer.
Does she really?
Yeah, read it again. It just doesn't get old. I just really like this prayer.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can.
There are things that we can change.
You're right.
Okay? And there are things that we can't change. We have to realize that. Okay?
Yeah.
A lot of pastors, and I'm not going to go into my pastor, beat up the pastor, have not prepared the congregations for real life. Okay, Joel Osteen, okay,
Yeah.
Kenneth Copeland, all these pastors, these so-called,
Yeah. Health and wealth.
health and wealth, name
Yeah.
and claim it. That's pipe dreams for what's coming down the road, especially if you read your Bible. David cried out in fear. Okay, it says that in Psalm 55, 4 and 5. Elijah felt very overwhelmed in 1 Kings 19:4. Paul experienced just crazy pressure in 2 Corinthians 1:8. Okay, the Bible does not pretend that believers never struggle.
Right.
God says it rains on the just and the unjust, meaning there's things that happen to everyone. Feeling anxious does not mean you lack faith. It means that you're human, okay? But you got to deal with it correctly.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, I go to God who has the keys. The key is that I go to the person with the keys, okay?
Yeah. Do you know what the enemy would always have us to do is to constantly think on these things, to constantly stress ourselves out about these things, thinking that maybe God's not going to do anything, or maybe God can't do something, or that we are going to have to do something, where we just have to let it go and let the Lord give us the wisdom.
Anxiety comes from trying to control what we cannot control.
Yes.
Listen to this. You want to write something down? You want to quote me? Anxiety, okay, stress comes from trying to control what we cannot control. You want to hear Jesus? You want to hear Jesus?
Of course.
Look at Matthew 6:27. Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? It's crazy that Jesus is addressing in his day people who they're troubled, they're worrying, they got stressed, they got problems. Okay?
Yeah.
Nowhere in the Bible does it say you're not going to have problems. You know why we have problems? Because things were really good in the Garden of Eden up until the serpent came. Okay? Let me point the finger. Okay? The majority of the things that are going on in our lives, okay, that we're having to deal with, okay, are a result of the snake. Okay? We entered into the angelic war, okay? Satan getting kicked out of heaven, now he's on the earth. And we are dealing with something that we can't see, something we don't understand, something that is much stronger than us. And yet God says in Ephesians, what? Put on the full armor of God. But he says, above all of that, pray. Again, that's the key. I go to the Lord. Jesus said, my burden is light.
Yeah.
My yoke is easy.
Yeah.
Worry often comes when we try to manage the things that belong to God. Ooh, that hurt. Ow! Ow! Stop it! Worry comes when we try to manage things that belong to God. We worry because of uncertainty.
Yeah.
We want control. We fear loss. Here's the thing. We can't. Our expectation here. Look at expectation versus the reality of what life is really like. What's the word that God spoke to me? What was that word? What was the word? Do I have
vicarious?
Vicarious. Okay, in the middle of I'm sharing this with you, and a lot of times I won't share the good stuff with you, okay? It's the middle of the night in a dead sleep, okay? And the Lord speaks this word to me, just as clear as day. What's the word?
Vicarious.
I'm having you say it because I can't hardly pronounce it, right? And so I go, it's like 3:30 in the morning, you're sleeping, and I'm like, vicarious. Why don't I know what that means? Vicarious. And so I'm like, oh, I know what that means. Look up the definition of vicarious. It's going to help us. Just type in the definition of vicarious. And so I look up the definition of vicarious, and I'm thinking to myself, how does this apply to me? What is God trying to tell me? What am I to learn about this? And as soon as I started looking up this definition, I took a screenshot of it, and I knew exactly the area within my life that God was addressing. Now watch this. There is a guy on TV. Guys, his name is Foresty Forrest. Okay? I watch him, and what he lives in a van, not down by the lake. That's funny. If you guys got that joke, you got to tell me. I live in a van down by the lake. Okay, if you got that joke, you got to tell me. I got the joke, and it's. I'm not going to go into where the joke's from. Okay, I'm not going there. Okay, but Foresty Forrest, what he does is what I can't do. He lives in a van, and he goes and he drives all over Canada, all over America, all over Alaska. And basically, he's living in his van, and he's climbing these ginormous mountains. He's cooking steaks. He's drinking a cold beer. He's riding his electronic bike. Foresty, besides his van breaking down some of the time, he doesn't seem to have a worry in the world. Recently, in the last 6 months, he's picked up a gal pal, and she's meeting him, and now him and this gal are doing all these, and he takes these screenshots on the top of the mountain, and then he gives you the drone view. And as I'm watching Foresty, you know what? I'm kind of experiencing that life, even though I'm not living that life. I'm experiencing, and that's what that word means. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking at someone else that's experiencing something that I really, like right now, my niece, he's doing 18, 19, 20-mile hikes in a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes he goes and spends the night, 3, 4, 5 days. He'll go into the bush for 10 days in a row.
Yeah.
With his, it looks so, he has these freeze-dried meals and everything. He brings his dog Rocco. All right, give us the definition, because I'm going somewhere with this.
And I don't have a lot of definitions here. Is experienced in the imagination.
Okay, experienced in the imagination.
Through the feelings or actions of another person.
So let me give you another example, okay? Sometimes...
Plus there's some more to it than that.
There's more to it, okay? Yeah. I'm not going to give you everything, but I'm just... apply these truths to your life.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can look at someone else's life, okay? And you're looking at their life, and you're like, well, I want that life.
Yeah.
I want to live that life. Now, I'm going to throw myself under the bus. My grandfather, who is gone, died. He's gone. He's been gone for a long time now. We used to go to Circus, and I was really young. Yeah. I mean, I think I was just 21 at the time. And we would go to the sports book, and he loved betting the horse races, right? He just loved betting the horse races, and he would give me $4, and he would pick the 2 horses that he wants, and he would give me an exacta box, right? And then he would say, I tell you what, because I was working at the time, I said, Grandpa, I want to take you out for a ginormous steak dinner. I mean, there's this steakhouse, and I want to buy, he says, and I'll never forget my grandfather. He said this, well, let me ask you this. How much is that steak going to put you back, me and you? Let's say I have a beer, and we get an appetizer. I was so proud to tell him, probably $250. This is the best steakhouse that there is, right? And back then, that was real expensive. Now, that's a deal now, okay, for a real expensive steakhouse. He says, I tell you what, why is that something you want to do? Because I get to spend time with you, Grandpa. And he says, I tell you what, we can spend time together. See right over there? There's a hot dog cart, okay? I'm going to buy you the biggest hot dog that they have, the 1-pounder, okay? You can put chili on it. You can put onions on it. You can even put relish on it. I don't suggest it. Mustard and ketchup, all right? And here's the thing. We're going to save ourselves, because that hot dog's only going to run me $2 for yours and $2 for mine. And we're going to save $148. And I thought that was the funniest thing. And he says, now, while we're eating our hot dogs, here's what he says. I'm going somewhere with this. Come on. Okay, he says, I want you to tell me that everything that you want. And I go, oh my gosh, because my grandfather was very wealthy.
Yeah.
And I was like, really, Grandpa? He's like, yep, I want you to.
He's thinking, this is my moment. I better put
I
it all
thought
out
it was
there.
the Solomon God moment where God said to Solomon, ask what you want. Because my grandfather, okay, here's what I want. I'd really like a log cabin house, okay? I would like an expedition. This was like years when the expeditions first came out, Ford Expedition. I would like a couple jet skis. They don't have to be new, okay? But I'd like a couple jet skis. I'd like a little bit of land. And I just went on and I told him all the things. And he was like, yeah, he was nodding his head, listening to me. And I knew he was catching it all. And he was like, okay, you can get a good, back then he was kind of adding it up as I threw these numbers out there. It was like, could we get like the jet skis for like $9,000 a piece? I was like, oh, absolutely, sure. Because I think he's going to stroke one out for me, right? Mm-hmm. And, and again, I'm young, and I'm saying, so I tell him everything that at the time I wanted. And I said this, and it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of money in the bank just so I could pay taxes. And then he says, yeah, you have to have food to eat and gas in your car and insurance. And I was like, and I said this in my mind, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. And he says, remember, we're eating our $2 hot dogs, right? And if you're an older person, you're going to appreciate. He says, and again, I think I'm like 21. I'm not married yet, so 21, 22.
Somewhere
and
there,
he says this, there is nothing that you just mentioned to me that I don't think that you can't have. What you need to do now, okay, is find out what you're going to do for a living and work really hard. And you could probably have that 5 times over. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
You want me to work?
You want me to go to school?
You want me to actually work?
You want me to go to work? He was like, if you save your money and work 30 years, you can have everything that you just mentioned to me. But he said 5 times over, right?
Yeah.
But I in my heart, I'm young. I'm thinking, boy, it'd be nice if Grandpa just, you know what?
Start out
it wasn't
great.
going to cost him but $500,000, and he was rich. I mean, it's only $500,000. I'm your grandson. I just bought you. I offered you a steak dinner. You know what I'm saying? Expectation versus reality.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they see what someone else has. That's where I'm going. Okay.
Yeah.
They want that lifestyle.
Yeah.
That lifestyle that seems like there's no conflict. But there's always conflict. There's always roadblocks. But the person that's lived longer, okay, they've just learned how to deal with things better.
Yeah.
As a Christian,
deal with those roadblocks.
The older I get, the better I get. Meaning this, I learn to rely on God and trust in God.
And you know what else, though?
God commands us, just a second, he commands us, do not be anxious. Do not worry about your life.
Yeah.
I mean, in Matthew 6:25, he's not suggesting that. He's telling you, I command you, do not be anxious. Why would he do that? Because my heavenly Father is in heaven. He has it all handled. But you know what? If I haven't, again, cultivated the relationship, I don't know that he has it handled. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say about your roadblocks, people learning how to deal with them better. Normally, those roadblocks are from the enemy.
Yeah.
It's demonic attacks and stuff. And so as you've gone
or life, it can be just regular life.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's something that the enemy, he comes up and he's hammering us with.
Yeah.
And as we've matured in the Christian life, we've learned how to deal with the enemy.
Yeah.
We've learned how to rely on God and how to put it back on the Lord and say, Lord, please help me through this. Lord, I pray that you would rebuke the enemy away from me, that you would rebuke these demons away from me, and not allow them to continue to harass me.
We live in a university town, and from time to time we would go to Walmart and we'd go to the garden center, and there was this young man there. He was going to the university where we were at. We would always strike up a conversation with this guy, and he was a really great guy.
Yeah.
And we would start talking about, what's your major in, right? And his major, and I'm like, I don't know how he applied it, but was jewelry making.
Yeah.
And I go, jewelry making?
Yikes.
I says, and then I remember, and I was like, what classes are you taking? He says, well, a lot of them are business classes. And I was like,
that's good,
and then
though.
I remembered, the school never told him this. I said, how are you going to overcompensate? Compensate cheap jewelry from China and Mexico. Have you thought about that? He says, no, I'm going to make very unique jewelry. I go, no. that's not what I'm asking. I can buy beautiful jewelry, okay, for pennies on the dollar. That's what's all over the place. A dollar. When you make jewelry, what does it cost you? He says, "Well, I sell mine for $50, $100. Have you made any?" Yeah, I've had lots of it. Have you sold any of it? No, I haven't sold any of it yet.
Oh.
But we were talking, and I didn't want to crush this guy, crush
Yeah.
his dreams, okay?
Yeah.
But I'll never forget the day I said, "How are you going to school?" And he says,
Ugh.
"Well, I'm taking out loans." I
Yeah.
go, and I'm always interested because that school, we were going to put my son in that school, but they tried jamming the student loans down my son's neck, and
He
my
said-
son,
yeah.
you know what? He was smart enough at
Yeah.
a young age to look that lady in financial aid in the office and says, "I'm not paying, okay, student loans. I'm going to pay as I go."
Yeah,
And they
'cause-
were trying to just jam it. And
well,
he was-
everybody takes those student
and
loans. And
that's
goes, I'm not
that's
going
what the lady
to.
said. And my son was so strong, saying,
Yeah.
"I'm not taking out loans to go to
Says,
school.
"I'm not gonna
If
do
I
it."
can't go to school, okay, and with a job or with money or a Pell Grant, I'm not going to go." And he went a different avenue. But this guy,
Yeah,
this
and-
guy,
and he
they
got his
jammed
BS,
him.
yeah.
And guess how much his senior year, the
Oh,
last
my
half of it, that
goodness.
semester. He told me the figure. He was $225,000
Oh,
in debt.
I was thinking it was 80. It's
And
225.
he has to start paying it 2 months after he graduates.
Yeah.
And I go, "What is the minimum payment on that?" It was more than a mortgage on a beautiful, beautiful house, just a gorgeous house,
Oh,
right?
my
And I was
goodness.
like, "Well, what are you going to do?" "Well, I might have to go bankrupt." I says, "You can't go bankrupt. It's
Not
a
on the
student
student loan, yeah.
You don't go back." He looked. I've never seen a sadder person in my life. And I told him that because that was his plan. Rock the card. Okay,
Yeah,
get loan after loan
yeah.
after loan, and
And-
then. But look at. So the expectation of what he wanted in life is not reasonable.
No.
It's not, and he will till the day he dies have that
That
student
loan,
loan, meaning they'll garnish it. So everything he makes, because he's not going to make it in the jewelry business. You know, he
Yeah.
really isn't.
Well, fortunately, they made him take business classes, so
Yeah.
hopefully he was able
You know
to
what I'm
fall
saying?
back
But
on that.
You know,
yeah.
there is a wisdom that people get, but the people who are in the know say that you don't actually get kind of life wisdom till about 25. You have some, and you gain
Yeah.
more, and you gain more, and you gain more. This person has real problems, but he brought them on himself.
Yeah.
But I understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't think it out. God says this. You know, Jesus speaks to this. Okay. What about the birds and the flowers? You know, in my creation, do you think that you're not more than a bird? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Do you not think I know the hairs on your head? We forget that we're children of the living God. We forget that God is vested in us. We know that because
Yeah.
the Father sent the Son. He cares for them, but how much more does he care for you? Tremendously. It's nuts how much God loves us. Anxiety says, what if God doesn't come through?
Yeah.
See, that's what anxiety says. Faith says, God has never failed me yet.
And you know what? Going along with that we worry that God won't come through
Yeah.
in the way that we expect.
Yeah, see, we
That's
in our
the hard-
minds, again,
it's
we're
hard to release
trying
it.
to control everything.
Yeah, and
I want God to make me happy by this, and this, and this, and this. But no one's wanting to fight anymore. No one's wanting to fight, to pray, and get the breakthrough with God. Your verse that you read, it says, "Do not be anxious about anything."
Yeah.
And we don't even have the option. He's anything. But allow the peace of God, you know, God's peace, God's perspective, okay? God's wisdom to guard your heart and your minds in Christ Jesus. God does not remove anxiety, he replaces it with peace. Most people don't understand that. He doesn't remove it. He gives you his peace. It was Jesus walking up in the storm. And when they finally saw it was Jesus, they you know, when he says, "Peace, be still." There's so many cases where the disciples are just freaking out, you know?
Well, no, anxiety is right there with stress, but I do believe the Lord takes that away from you when he gives you his peace.
No, it's
you know?
it's like water, right? Or it's like
Yeah.
wine. You know what I'm saying? The peace of God pushes it out.
Yes.
It gets rid of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
We need to overcome anxiety God's way,
Yeah.
which is casting our cares upon Him.
Yeah.
Because 1 Peter 5:7 says God cares for us.
Yeah.
Casting means to throw, release, and let go. Did you know that?
Yeah.
When you look up the definition,
Yeah.
it means this, that I throw, I release, and I let it go. True
The
surrender.
big one is releasing.
Yeah,
You
releasing.
release.
Oh,
Casting,
yeah. True
releasing.
surrender says, Lord, this is yours now. This doesn't belong to me
Yeah.
anymore. You know what? But no. I gave it to the Lord. This is yours.
Yeah.
My life is yours. My future is yours. My desires, my dreams, my goals, what I want out of this life. You either truly give your life to God or you don't.
Yeah.
If this world is crashing down on you, there's a good chance you really haven't released your life to God and are trusting Him with your life. It's scary. Go ahead.
Now I got to tell. Don't interrupt me this time, again. I was going to say, when we don't trust that God is going to answer him in the way that we expect because we think it's not going to turn out good. But so many times I have found that the Lord has answered in a way that I wasn't expecting,
Yes.
but turned out to be a whole lot better than what I was expecting. You know, that like God can't do something really good.
Yeah.
Yes,
Many-
He can. You got to trust Him.
Yeah, many times we've been praying for a need. I mean, just financially, we were praying for a need, and I'm praying, Lord, I need $30 more. I have the rest. I need to pay this electricity bill. It's already late. And I'm just like, Lord, I need 30. Please, Lord, please help me, And He doesn't send 30. He sends 150.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And here I am just pleading with God for 30. Let me ask you this. Do you think
Yeah.
there's a shortage of money in heaven? I mean, do you think there's a shortage with God owning the cattle on 1,000 hill? For men that are young out there, men, let me ask you this. Do you think there's a shortage of women, okay, that are on the planet, okay, that belong to God? No. There are women out there. You know what they're praying for? They're praying to come across a godly man
Yeah.
that will love them and
Yeah.
honor them and be a godly role model.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? There's men that are just wanting to be married, just wanting a relationship. And then God knows there are women out there wanting that man. I want someone that's the real deal. Philippians 4:6, be by prayer and supplication. Let your requests be known unto God.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Do you
Prayer,
know
supplication,
the
anxiety comes. What do? When we're faced, what did Hezekiah? There's 3 armies coming against Hezekiah. What does he do? First thing he does, he prays immediately. He seeks God's word. He thanks Him in advance. He puts the singers up front. No one wants to put the singers up front. We need to replace worry with worship. That's what the singers up front mean.
Yeah.
Okay? Letting God fight the battle. Do you know what? By the time Hezekiah with the singers got to the battle, they had destroyed themselves. 3 different armies had destroyed themselves. And it says this, it took 3 days in order to gather up all the spoils from all the dead corpses. Every anxiety thought is an invitation to pray. Every time Satan comes and starts taunting you, it's an invitation by God. Most people don't see it. Most people don't see it as an invitation. It's, Lord, this is what's going on. Satan's harassing me. Even Michael said, the Lord rebuke you, Satan. The longer you walk with the Lord, the more you realize the same tricks of Satan. I mean, they work. Initially, they work. But as you see it over and over again, you start realizing it. You know what? Satan, you know what you are? You're a good bullcrapper. You've been bullcrapping me for 20 years, and guess what? I'm not going to listen to your bullcrap anymore, okay? What you say is going to happen never happens. Early on, he was always telling me if I left the house, I was going to die. He was telling me that. And guess what I wanted to do? Stay inside the house. Stay inside the house. You know, I'm listening to the wrong person.
Do you know
God says, I love you. God says, I put you in the cleft of the rock, the shadow of your wings. God said, I made the destroyer to destroy it. God says, and God can say, don't go out.
Yeah.
Or go out and just be wise.
Do you know, early on when I met you, before we were ever married, you told me that so many times, 9 times out of 10,
Yes.
we will worry about things that never even come to pass.
Oh,
and
no.
then also early on, it was either you or somebody I knew right before you that said, I used to worry about different things. Like one time, I had this job, and it was about 15 minutes to an hour away, depending upon traffic.
Right.
And when I would be driving up there with my brother, we would always end up getting there 15 minutes to 30 minutes late because we'd run into bad traffic. And I was always stressed out,
Yeah.
you know. And
she stresses when I drive.
oh, my
guys.
goodness, yeah. And it's just like, instead of worrying about it, just leave earlier. So that's the wisdom to know the things we can change.
You're right.
In that situation, we did just start leaving a lot earlier,
You
realizing,
want to hear
okay,
something funny? Hey, if you're a younger person listening to this, I want to tell you something about God.
it helped me greatly, though.
God cannot tell you all the good stuff he wants to do in your life. He can't tell you. Why? You'll want to help him.
Oh, yeah.
He can't tell
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Because a lot of your anxiety is trying to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, how am I
okay?
gonna do it? How to make
he
it
know,
come
he
to
gives
pass?
you the desires of your heart. God's not stupid. He knows what kind of house you want to live in. He's not stupid. He knows what kind of car you want to drive. He's not stupid. He knows how many zeros you want after the first 3 numbers in your bank account. He knows you like land. You want a beautiful wife. You don't want a dog. Friends, he's not stupid.
But he also knows what's best for you.
He can't tell you because
Yeah.
you'll want to try to help him out. That's the honest truth. And in helping him out, guess what we are not doing? We're not exercising faith.
But do you know what else, though, what we try and do?
That was a good word.
But you know, we end up thinking that we know what's best.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's so much less than what God has planned for us.
And you know what? While we're trying to figure out, we bring anxiety on ourselves, which grows. Anxiety grows an unhealthy heart and mind. Did you know that? Our thinking is skewed.
Yeah.
That's what Satan, he's attacking the mind. That's why the helmet of salvation is the first thing you're to put on.
Yeah.
Because if he can get you in the mind, he's defeated you all day long.
Yeah.
You must fight the lies with truth.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you do. What did God say? I can do all things through Christ. I'm not going to fail.
Me, yeah.
You might think, well, I'm alone. The Lord is with me. I won't survive. God is my refuge. I mean, look what God did for Job. And you're like, well, he let Satan attack Job. Yeah, but the world's attacking you, right? Look at very carefully. God, after Job learned, doubled up on everything. And then God multiplied the days of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Every morning when I wake up, I look straight up at the ceiling.
Yeah.
And instead of having a plaque on the wall, it's on the ceiling, so I know how to start my day. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. That's easy, sometimes. But the other part is not there. And lean not on your own understanding in all your ways. How many ways? How many ways, Han? Tracey, how many ways?
I don't know how many.
Many ways? Or all your ways? We acknowledge him. We acknowledge him with our belief, with our trust, with our faith. You know, trust means believing. See, God sees what you don't see. God knows what you don't know. God is working even when you can't see. Look, let me ask you this. When you're sleeping, are you working? God's working for you.
Yeah.
God's thinking about you. When you're and when I'm attacked, the best thing I can do is go to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay? Because Satan, I was just talking to my mommy tonight. Hi, Mommy. I was talking to my mom tonight. Satan doesn't play fair. Satan is not honorable.
No.
Satan attacks me when I'm really, really tired.
Yeah.
Or I'm a little bit angry, lonely, frustrated. When I've had a good day, that's when he comes along to try to attack me. It's the acronym is HALT. Okay?
So when you've had a good day, he tries to attack you too?
Oh, attack me when I have a good day, trying to get me in pride, or when I have a bad day. You know, because a lot of times we think, I got it from here, everything's good. We never have it.
Yeah.
I mean, my reliance on God is 24/7. I need him. That's why John 15:5 is talking about the branch of the vine, resting in him. That's why it says pray without ceasing, always talking to God, thanking God, worshiping God in my heart, in my soul, in my mind, through the words, through the worship, through what I listen to, what I watch. Whew, that was a lot to say. I mean, disciples are in a storm. They're panicked. You know, they're waking Jesus up. They're shaking Jesus. Jesus, we're going to die. Can I ask you, what's so funny about that story? Is once you've walked with the Lord for a little bit, you realize this. Do you think really the Father would let the Son die? Because they're shaking Jesus. They're saying, hey, the boat's filling up with water.
Yeah.
You know, don't you care? We're all going to die. the thing is, Jesus said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. See, they knew Jesus, but they didn't really know Jesus, because they would have known the Father is not going to let Jesus die.
Prematurely.
He stands up and he says, peace, be still. You know what?
Yeah.
Jesus does a whole lot better than what we do. He trusts the Father.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's easy. That's the Son. Yeah. I understand that. But Jesus had tremendous faith and trust in the Father. He left his attributes, the majority of them, up in heaven, his glory. Jesus stood up and said, peace, be still. The storm stopped. That same Jesus, he lives in us. He can speak that to you when Christ reigned in your heart. Or hopefully he reigns in your heart right now. Okay? Fear has to bow the knee. Satan has to leave. Satan does not have the option. Resist the devil, he will flee. He has to flee from us. Well, that's a good word. I hope we helped you out. I hope no more stress is in your life anymore.
And do you know what we were talking about? Therapy and different ways that when you're starting to feel stress, things that you can do things that encourage you, that help you to release stress. Whether that's working out, going for a walk, listening to music.
Tell them things that you don't do. You don't smoke pot.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not enough pot in the world to make your stress and your worries go away.
Yeah.
And your troubles. There's just not enough pot in the entire world.
You don't want to do things that are counterproductive.
A lot of people, what they do with stress is they drink.
Yeah.
Okay? There's not enough alcohol in the entire world to get rid of your problems.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of problems when you forsake God. A lot of times we go into these destructive patterns trying to make the troubles go away. Don't do it.
Yeah, some people they turn to sex. Other people they turn to drugs.
Porn. They go to porn. A lot of people they're saved. I'm not saying they're not. They're saved, but they go back into those destructive behavior patterns they did prior to being saved.
Yeah.
Those comfortable sins. Those familiar sins.
So that's why we're going on the positive realm of doing things like going for a walk or exercising.
Some people, what you're saying, stresses them out.
No, but what I'm
You're
talking...
You're stressing me out talking about walking.
I'm just saying things that make people feel like you said, Home Depot was like man therapy.
Yeah, why'd you say that
listening
for all the men out there?
Listening to music or
grab
doing
your wife's
things
credit card and go to Home Depot.
Yeah, things that just bring you like a release.
Yeah.
Like you're like, wow, okay, this is good. For me,
it's different with everyone.
Shopping is stressful for me. I don't like it.
You have to tell them. For Tracey, working out de-stresses her.
Oh, yeah.
Long walks de-stress her.
Hiking, kayaking,
and coffee de-stresses her.
Yeah.
Tell me what stresses you. Shopping stresses you?
Shopping.
That's so funny, and I'm so good at shopping.
Yeah.
I'm really good.
He and our daughter love to go shopping, and they said it's just like therapeutic and it rejuvenates them. And I said it just fills me with anxiety and it drains me.
If you
like, no.
are suffering from any of these things, you have to realize that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Everyone has the same issues. I mean, we
all have issues. Some of them are just different.
Yeah, they're different issues, but everyone has these different. Everyone has problems.
Yeah,
it's and as you get
it's
older,
how you deal with them too.
You're dealing with different problems.
Yeah.
You're deeply loved by God. We oftentimes forsake that and forget that.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we're in sin, and we're in sin because we're dealing with life, and we think, well, I'm going to go into sin. It's going to make things better, and it actually makes things worse.
Yeah.
If you can, guys, pick out some very powerful verses, okay, and put them on a 3x5 index card. There's about 4 or 5 that are good. One of them is "Fear not, for I am with you." That's Isaiah 41:10. The other one, when I was at my first church, every Sunday before I preached, whether morning or evening, we would sing. We would not sing. We would sing, but we would recite the whole congregation the Psalm 23.
Yeah.
The Lord is my shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew 11:28, Jesus says, "Come to me and I will give you rest." Again, we have to come to God, not ignore God.
Yes.
Pray, Anxiety is real, but God is greater than any anxiety. The blood, you have to realize when Jesus died and he shed his blood, the blood washed away all of your sins. Just wiped them out once and for all. Now, again, it's not fear that I'm holding on to, because God says I haven't given you a spirit of fear, but it is faith. I don't panic and I don't make rush decisions, okay? I
Yeah.
pray, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's one of Satan's primary things.
Oh, yeah.
Make a rush decision.
Yeah.
Rush decisions are never the right decision.
Yeah.
And again, worry. I don't worry. I worship the Lord. That's what we do. Again, it's just slowly picking up these tools to put in your toolbox.
Yeah, and I notice like whenever the enemy tries to come around and tries to stress me out about something, or he's bringing along, confrontation or whatever, I notice that if I put on my worship music and I just play it, that the enemy starts to have to leave. Yeah, and I just start praying and worshiping God.
Absolutely. Worship. And you know what that is because it's crazy, but Satan was in charge of the worship in heaven. And now when we're worshiping the Lord correctly in spirit and in truth, the enemy can't stand the worship of the Lord. So those oppressive spirits, they have to flee. They have to leave the house. So that was a good word.
I haven't noticed that when our cats they get a little antagonistic towards each other, I put on worship music and it starts calming them down.
You know what calms them down?
Travis Cottrell.
He's a worship singer, and he's actually, we saw him in concert at a marriage seminar, but he is actually in a church in Franklin, Tennessee. That's amazing.
I think it's Brentwood is where it is. I think
somewhere real close to it's in Franklin, I think.
Close to Nashville.
Yeah, it's close to Nashville. Franklin's right next to Nashville. And you know what? I was reading this guy. Oh, can I just close with this one thing? There was this guy. The storm was like over 2 weeks ago, the ice storm. And there's this one guy. He's not one guy. There's a lot of people that still do not have power. And he is just so upset. He's so angry. He's so this. He's so that. Life is filled, with real problems. I would be upset. You know what he said? I lost everything in my deep freezer. I lost everything in my fridge. I haven't had a shower. I don't have any more money to go to the hotel. I can't pay my electricity bill. It's just, his problems are real. In life, you're going to have real problems. You are.
Sometimes you can learn from those problems.
You can learn from them, but I'm not trying to spin it. You have to work the problem.
Yeah.
That's what, the things that you can change, but the things you're not able to, like we said in the Serenity Prayer, accept them, move forward. The things you don't understand and don't know, put them in a file. When you get to heaven, ask God about it. There are things that just happen that we don't like, we don't understand, and God's not going to reveal them to us. Some things he does, some things he doesn't, Life is hard. God is stronger than life. God defeated Satan, death, hell, and the grave. And friends, you have to realize that is the most powerful statement, because the blood has washed over you. Your sins are forgiven. You are more than a conqueror through Christ. And God has a purpose and a plan for you. It is for good. And like I said earlier, God can't tell you everything he wants to do in your life, because you will want to help him. We just want to we want to get involved. And what we do is we mess it up and muck it up. Just rest in the Lord and realize this. Everyone has problems, Deal with them correctly through praying to the Lord.
Yes.
Peace. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.